Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Blue Maxima and I'm here checking out Licky the Lucky Lizard Lives Again. This is a bit of an old one. I am actually using my other Vita for this because this is only out in Europe when I talk about this, despite the fact that I have review code. And I have almost completely finished this game. I have 11 out of 13 trophies in an hour. Like, to be fair, it hasn't even been an hour. I've literally just been picking this up every few minutes to, just like play through it and, you know, just give it a couple of goes every time I pick it up. And within an hour of that, I've managed to get almost the majority of the trophies. There's two I haven't been able to get. There's King of the Swingers, which I haven't gotten because I haven't been able to be bothered. And Heartbreaker, which, to be fair, is an entirely different reason that the developer did warn me about. But we'll get on to that. So there's not that much to see out in the menus. You do have upgrades that you get by doing relatively simple things. And you generally don't stand a chance of getting a high score until you've gotten all of them. You also have leaderboards. However, the global leaderboards don't work yet because the game just doesn't want them to work for some reason. The guy sent me an email saying, hey, two things don't work. One of them's the leaderboards. So, whatever. They're there. They'll probably work by the time you get around to this. I have the music and the sound volumes turned up a bit from their defaults. Let me just show you the defaults of them. And you can also see your controls here, but we'll get onto them once we get into the game. And there's also credits. That's a lot of credits for a simple thing, but oh well. You do have a tutorial, but we won't need to do that. Let's just hit the play button right away and get started, shall we? So, Licky the Lucky Lizard is, well, it's kind of like Doodle Jump, where you have to get as high as humanly possible. However, there are a couple of things different about it in comparison to bloody Doodle Jump, of all things. So, the idea of moving around is that you can jump, but your jump is basically nothing. Like, you just saw me jump there, and there's a double jump for you. It's basically nothing, so you do need to use your tongue to get around, and your tongue will automatically aim at certain things, as you can see via the what's it called, the little sparkly star that's got going on there. And if you press the R button, you will by default fire your tongue at whatever platform is highlighted with the sparkly star. And your tongue is very elastic, but it also has absolutely no understanding of the meaning of physics. So, it will pull you up towards said rock, and if you manage to get past it, which is a little bit harder than it sounds, if you manage to get past the rock, that is, you will be flung upwards. So it's very focused on just continuing a big swing up into the sky. And the game's multiplier system does encourage this. So as you can see, every time I hook onto a new platform, I get a higher multiplier. As you can see the little yellow multiplier number there. And the more platforms you touch without touching the ground, obviously, the higher your multiplier is when you eventually land on solid ground, and that will determine your score at the end of the day. The obvious idea is to try and avoid the lava for as long as humanly possible. There are also geysers, which you saw I jumped on one there to get a bunch of extra height. If you can combine that and a high multiplier together, you'll be getting tons of points, and it seems to be the best way to go for the 15,000 and 30,000 point trophies. You can also pick up rocks, at least at the beginning of the game, because the upgrade you get that lets you have unlimited rocks actually comes along pretty quick. So I don't even know why that's a feature, because it's only around in the game for something like 20 minutes before they basically just give you infinite rocks and say, fuck it, it's all yours. So you can throw rocks, and whenever you throw a rock, the game will throw it at the nearest starred rock. So throwing at this whole not manual aim system. There is a manual aim system. We'll get onto that. But this whole system of hooking onto the star, it works 90% of the time. But then sometimes you'll just find it hooking onto something entirely unintended, and it's a bit of a pain in the ass. For the most part, it does work, and it is kind of the way they expect you to play the game, because the manual aim system they've got is actually kind of horrendous. So let's talk about the manual aim system. You can use the right analog stick to aim manually at a platform, but I don't think this actually works. I actually think the controls are supposed to be reversed, because it's the right stick and you have to use the R button to fire, right? Which kind of makes sense when you think about it, because that's exactly how it works in pretty much every other game ever. But I'm a person who plays first-person shooters a lot, and I'm not used to holding down the R button to throw out a tongue, right? I'm used to holding down the L button. So being able to swap those two controls around would be great, because it would make manual aim a hell of a lot more usable. Just for the purpose of, you know, making it so that the button that I'm used to holding down is the button I hold down, and you use the L button to throw rocks. So it would make a lot more sense, just because it would feel a little bit more like your typical shooter. But I mean, this really isn't your typical shooter, so I don't know what I'm complaining about. I'm just saying I find it incredibly hard to get used to manual aim. I just got to say that. You do also get extra lives, or extra chances, I should say. So you can see that I've got a heart at the start of the game, which is certainly something. But you also have the ability to pick up hearts as you go on. However, you might be wondering, well, where the fuck are they? I haven't seen them. That's the other thing that's broken in this version of the game. The heart pickups are just completely invisible. No, I'm not joking, it's a bug, and the developer fully acknowledged that this was a bug, so I've been playing basically without the ability to get extra hearts, which more or less makes it impossible to get higher than a specific point, because the way the lava cooling works is a little weird. It seems to exponentially speed up. You can, like, stop it for a few seconds by breaking blue rocks with a rock, which is a bit of a weird thing to say, I grant you, but oh well. It doesn't seem to have any difference on how high you've gone, so you can get really high and basically just have a bunch of time without having to run into problems with the, without having to run into problems with that. But at the same time, you might end up in a situation where you'll just end up getting absolutely slaughtered by lava you didn't see coming, just because it's been slowly building up speed behind you the entire time, and it's a bit odd like that. Or at least I think that's how that works. The actual blue rocks don't actually do much at that point either. Like, seriously. The cooldown, the amount that they'll cool down is actually really low when the game gets later on, to the point where the lava is more or less still coming after you anyway. I figured the point would be to, you know, actually stop the lava for a few seconds to give you a few bits to catch up, or at the very least reset its speed for a little bit, so you have a little bit more time to get higher away from the really fast moving lava. But I guess not. Because trying to play this game with manual or automatic aim just kind of feels like a shot in the dark, really, because of the way that the rocks are generated. It feels rather frustrating to just play through and then just get stuck on a really annoying layout, or just fail because either your manual aim or your automatic aim just failed you. It's not a game where it feels more exciting to succeed than frustrating to fail, is what I'm trying to say. He has a good thing going here, because I like the idea of, like, the weird physics-defying tongue just sending you skywards if you cling onto a rock far enough away from it. Oh look, there was a heart pick up there. You could see it because of the sparkle of the automatic aim. But yeah, the game just isn't as satisfying to succeed at, as frustrating as it is to fail at, just because of the way the swinging and the systems work, and the fact that the rocks are laid out randomly in front of you, which means you just might get screwed. Not to mention, when you throw out rocks, you have to be careful of where you throw out the rocks, because if you throw a rock at a rock that you need to get higher, you're basically screwed and you have to wait for the lava to come up and burn your ass. This is multiplied by the fact that you don't have any, like, pickups early, upgrades, I should say, early on, just because the game's got an absolute ton of upgrades that just make the game significantly easier. Like, there's basically no, like, side upgrades or abilities you can get. They're basically all just straight shot upgrades. So you end up spending half an hour just flailing around with absolutely no pickups, no double jump, no infinite rocks, no extra try, no anything like that. You just end up flailing and not enjoying yourself because the game's systems are just... It is basically a mobile game. It is something that's designed for you to fail more than you designed to succeed. And it's just a massive pain to do so because, well, they have a lot of good systems here, and I could see this working in a more like, what's the way I would put it? I could see this working in a more contemporary platformer where you use this to like swing around and defeat enemies with and stuff, but putting it into such a frustrating shell just really reduces its potential, and I'm really kind of annoyed by that because the guy's got something good going here. Not to mention he's got like the only game that is made in Unity that performs all right on the Vita, which is a bit of a shot at pretty much every other Unity developer on the fucking planet that tried to do something on Vita, but there you go. This guy's the only guy who managed to do something decent with it. Of course, absolutely no love can be given to the game's music or sound effects. They are extremely repetitive, and it just grates after a while. Like, 10 minutes of this and you'll want to rip your ears out. It's frustrating, honestly. He had a good idea, but he had to turn it into some mobile-focused shitfest. I imagine this game will be out on... I imagine that this game will come out on mobile platforms in a bit as well, and it'll work off the same idea. But, I mean, I'm on the PlayStation Vita, for God's sake. I could be playing Utawa Ramono Mask of Truth. I could be playing Shyran. I could be playing any number of, like, platformers that do things better than this one does. See how fast that lava moves up? You really don't stand a chance unless you get a really, really good run with the rocks. So yeah, that was a look at Licky the Lucky Lizard Lives Again. It's not really that good. I wouldn't recommend it. There are hundreds of other ways you could spend your time on the Vita. There's really no point to this one whatsoever. Get Downwell. Downwell is like, I turn this game upside down, more or less. Add enemies, add different mechanics, add pretty much anything to make this sort of mechanic work better. And even a unique movement system in the fact that your boots also double roll as your gun and your jetpack. And yeah, just like miles and miles ahead of this game. And it'll probably be around the same price too. I don't know how much this is going to cost because it hasn't come out yet technically. But yeah, Downwell is still pretty damn cheap and it'll probably do you better than this game ever will. So yeah, there you go. This has been Blue Maxima, and I will see you all next time.